Hey friends, welcome back to the Deep Dive Snippet. This is a little clip from my conversation with Julian Hearn, who founded the company Huel at the age of 37. He bootstrapped Huel to over £40 million in annual revenue. Within 4 years of launching, Huel was valued at around $250 million. And just within 4 years of launching, Huel was valued at £220 million. And Julian's story is really inspiring about how it's never too late to start a business if that's what you want to do. I was trying to work out what age you started various companies, and it was like surprisingly later in life than people would initially think.
Yep.
People think founders like, 17 to 19 year olds, Mark Zuckerberg, the Stripe guys.
Yeah.
But you were like 30 something when you started?
I would have been 36, 37. Yeah. And most of these sort of podcasts can focus around the sort of very younger guys. Yeah. And you think about the Zuckerbergs of the world, incredibly young. Yeah. Or I think you've done Ben Francis recently, incredibly young. So I think that it's I think it's interesting that most people probably think when they get 36, 37, they're sort of stuck in what they're doing. Yeah. They can't retrain, they can't relearn. But yeah, I did. I just sort of had a personal reason why I needed to start working from home, and had to suss that out. And I did a lot of stuff you sort of do, is listen to a lot of podcasts, tons of podcasts, read a lot online, and try and work out and sort of bodge your way through to start off with. So it took me about a year before I got the confidence to jack my job in, but worked evenings and weekends. Yeah, it must be 36, 37.
Yeah. So I speak to a lot of people in their, so sometimes even late teens, but like early to mid 20s who say, oh, I don't know what I want to do. I haven't figured it out.
Yep.
It seems like all these other people are sort of like going ahead of me.
Yep.
What was your kind of experiences during school and sort of like late teens, early 20s? And how did we go from that to then starting a business at age 36?
So I left school at 16. Pretty poor GCSEs. What did I get? 3 C's maybe, D's, E's. Yeah. Got 2 E's for English. I do remember that. I can't spell. I'm not really good at reading either, really. It's got 2 E's for English. Left at 16. Worked in a shop for a year. Then worked digging holes in the road for 2 years as manual labour. Then I think my girlfriend at the time was about 19. She goes, what are you doing? Why are you digging holes in the road? You're too smart to do that. So I wasn't academically smart, but I was sort of quite smart at certain stuff. So I went back to college, 2 years. And I thought I'd come out of there and get a job. Came out of college with I think it was a BTEC I had. Couldn't get a job off the back of that. So I had nothing else to do really apart from went to uni. I thought, well, now I'm committed. I've given up work. I might as well keep going. Mm-hmm. So then I got a placement at Bournemouth University, did a degree in marketing, came out of that, thought I'd get a job straight away, no problem. Didn't. I had to go and work. I remember I worked night shift in a petrol station for 6 months. Yeah. And then luckily, I think it was my stepmom, she worked with somebody whose husband worked somewhere, and luckily I got a job in marketing finally after all that. So I'd had a degree in marketing, I had a 2-1, but couldn't get a job. Luckily I got one. Worked in a marketing team from about, I think that must be 1999, something like that. Worked in marketing for mostly retailers.
So that was when you were like 25-ish?
Yeah, maybe a little bit older, 25, 26, something like that. Okay. And then I started, internet sort of came along.
Yeah.
So this was still quite early, because I think when I was at uni, I think I finished uni in 96, and the internet, was really not really about, I think at university you could go and use some of the computers there, you could access the internet, but nobody really had a home computer with internet in 96. And then when I first got my job, I was just doing normal sort of marketing as a marketing assistant, and then the internet came along. So somebody said, can you have a look at this internet thing? Should we have an internet business? I was working for MFI, which was a furniture retailer at the time. And I sort of said to them, yeah, it looks like you should. B&Q, which was a bigger retailer at the time, had what they called a brochureware site. You couldn't buy, no e-commerce. I said, well, we could beat them, we could overtake them if you give me some money. So I sort of persuaded the team or the board to give us, I think it was £67,000 to start the first website. Got that built by an agency, got that going, and then of course I was almost within 1 year, I was almost a greybeard in terms of internet experience because nobody had it. So then I moved on, worked for some other retailers, and then fast forward to 2008, I think it was. I needed to work from home because of a personal reason, and I thought, shit, what am I going to do? Because I lived in Aylesbury, which was out in the countryside. I was working in London and going an hour and a half each way, so it's 3 hours of driving a day. So I wanted to work from home, no marketing jobs of any sort of merit in Aylesbury area, so I needed to create my own business. Yeah. And so I started looking around, and luckily at the time we were using some affiliates, and affiliates are people basically who sit at home and create websites and make money from sitting in their PJs, I suppose, at home. And I thought, this is something I can do, maybe. These guys, I met them. I went to an affiliate event, and these guys, I thought, they're making, I knew how much some were making, like 10, 20,000 pounds a month. I think, holy shit, it's loads of money. And I met them. I thought they were going to be, I don't know, I'm not saying they thought it was going to be geniuses, but when I met them, I thought, they're bright, but they're not like rocket scientists. I thought, if they can do it, why can't I do it? So that was basically me then thought, right, I'm going to learn how to do this by myself, by listening to podcasts, by practicing, starting websites, learning.
Yeah.
So I used to get home from work at, say, 6 o'clock on a work day, have my meal with my wife at the time, and then go on the computer at 7 o'clock. I basically had my computer desk set up in a lounge, so I could sit in the lounge, watch TV. I had a little mirror set up. I could to watch the TV while I was working, and work till, say, 11 o'clock. Do this at the weekends as well. Did that nearly sort of full time for a year, until I got to the stage where I started making about £1,000, maybe £1,500, £2,000 a month. And started thinking, I know how to do this. If I had more time, I could double the amount of work. I would double the amount of money I could earn. And so I remember saying to my wife at the time, I said, right, I'm going to have a crack at this. I'm going to jack my job in. I'm going to give myself 6 months. If I can't get the same amount of money I get for my salary, within 6 months, I'll go back and get that job again, or get a similar type of job. And I think at that time I had a good enough experience that I felt confident I could go back and get a job. So it felt like pretty low risk. And I thought, as long as I could earn the same salary, and I'm working from home, it's a win-win. I'm 3 hours a day, I'm not traveling. So that was the goal. Within 3 months, I was earning more than my salary, and then it just kept on going after that.
Yeah, I think that's when people quit a job, I feel like they often have this idea that, I'm working a 30k job, therefore quitting the job is a 30k risk. But it's actually not, because like next week you could probably get a 28k job if you really wanted to. And so really it's not a 30k risk, it's a 2k risk between the job that you currently have and the job that you could pretty easily get if you needed to. And even if you take a little bit of a pay cut, maybe you can't get a 35k job immediately, but at least a 25, 28k job is very reasonable in that context. And I don't know anyone who's kind of done that and regretted the decision, because you're sort of like going all in on yourself and giving yourself that, be like, I've got to make this work, and if I don't, then it's not the end of the world. I'll just get another job.
If you talk about it and sort of practice at it forever, you're never going to do it. At some point, you do have to make that hard decision to do it. But I never would have done it before I'd been practicing and learning for a year. So evenings and weekends was vitally important. I think if you do that and really do it and start earning money, you build confidence. The more you do something, the more confidence you get. So I was pretty confident at the end of that year. I said, if I double the amount of time I can work on this, or triple the amount of times, I probably could have tripled the amount of time, I know I will do this. So I was pretty confident, but I'd put enough money to one side to pay the mortgage, pay all the bills for 6 months, which is not a lot. If you just strip everything out of your life apart from the mortgage and the food bills, you don't need that much. So it wasn't a ton of cash, but I put enough money in the bank that had that, saved that up over that previous year from the money I had earned from it. Put that to one side, that was enough. But it was 3 months and I was earning more. So
one thing I often hear from people is this idea of, I want to do this side hustle, therefore I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to make it happen. And I was like, hang on. Like, don't quit your job until you've at least done it for a little while. In the weekends and weekends, evenings. But I guess these days it's sort of become a bit unfashionable to talk about doing the stuff on the weekends and evenings and things. And everyone's like, oh, but like sustainability and like, work-life balance and mental health and all that kind of stuff, rightly so. But I think there is still that balance between like the people who sort of succeed are the ones who do add in that extra level of hustle, extra level of grind, if you want to use those words.
I think that you've all got to, to make something work, there's going to have to be a period of time when you have to go outside of your comfort zone. You're going to have to work harder than you probably healthily should over a long period of time, but you're not doing that forever. So that was 1 year when I worked crazy amount of hours. I'm doing a full-time job with a 3-hour drive backwards and forwards to home, or an hour and a half each way, and then working in the evening. So there was crazy hours for a year. Big deal. It felt like there was such an end goal at the end of it. It was worth it. And then when I started working at home, when I jacked the job, I wasn't doing all the evenings and weekends. So there's only 1 year. That was pretty easy. In fact, I ended up started working at finishing at 2 or 3 o'clock. Once the money started rolling in, I was even finishing early to make up for that previous year. Then I suppose when I started Huel, that was tough. When that kicked off, there was 2 to 3 years of that when that was crazy hours. But now I'm 50 years old. I've given you an example of basically 4 years in total out of 50. Well, I've worked crazy hours. That feels doable.
Hey friends, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this clip, then click here for the full unedited episode. And if you like that, then do please consider subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.